It's finally time to bring all of my houseplants that I moved outside in the spring back inside for the winter. This is a very, very sad day for me. I'm going to do a little bit of repotting, and I'm also going to check my plants very closely for any signs of insects. Let's go ahead and get started. If you need help in assessing the situation for what to do with your household plants when it's time to take them back inside, stay tuned because I have a couple of tips and tricks for you. Tip number 1. You want to take a look at your plants that are ready to be moved back inside, and you want to look for any type of pest damage. You want to look for webbing, you want to look for little critters, you want to look under every single leaf and do a full inspection of your plant before you take it back inside. I'm going to take a look at the plants that I want to take inside that I am not going to repot. Some of these do need to be repotted eventually, but right now I don't have containers big enough to repot everything that I want to. This is a pothos plant. This is a plant that I did get when I went to my local plant club, as are most of these plants that I have. I attend a monthly local plant club, and there is a wealth of information in this plant club that has details on how to care for household plants, any questions anybody might have, and we always have a plant that we get to take home and enjoy. This pothos has done amazingly well outside. It is flourishing. Let me come a little closer and show you. Okay, I'm up close and personal. Hello, everybody. Oh, let me take my little tag out that I got. Isn't that funny? Talk dirt to me. Step this over here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really good look under every single leaf, under every single stem. I'm going to look for any signs of insects. So far this looks good, but I am going to really look at each little intersection. Let me see if I can find. Can we see that right there? So right here is a little intersection, and I want to make sure that there's no webbing and no pests. I'm going to set it aside so we can take it inside when we're done. Okay. Isn't this fun? This is not fun. This sucks. I hate cold weather. I hate winter. Even though we should not hate. I really do. Rant over. I'm also going to give this just an overall shake, just to see if anything flies out. That's a good way to tell. That's another tip. Shake your plant. I actually do this when I'm inside too. When I'm fussing with my plants in the middle of the winter, when I'm totally bored, I'll go through when I water my plants, which is usually every Sunday, and I just give them all a good shake. Doesn't hurt the plant. It strengthens them as well, but I just want to make sure nothing is flying out of the plant. This one looks good. Another tip is you want to make sure that you are giving your plants a little bit of fertilization before you take them inside, just to give them a little boost, because this will be tough on plants. They're not going to love being moved from outside where they're meant to be to go inside where they're not meant to be. I don't know if you can see this. Worm poop. Yes, I have worm poop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of worm poop and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top of the soil. Sprinkle. All right. This pothos is now ready to go inside. We have a philodendron, and this is a plant that I'm again not going to be repotting at this time, even though it needs it. I have some other plants that really need to be repotted. I think this one will be just fine for a couple more months in this container. I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any dead leaves or dead areas that need to be picked off. On this leaf and on some of the darker leaves, you can see a little bit of white spotting. That is just hard water marks. If I wanted to clean it off, I could. I think I'm going to worry about cleaning any water spots and stuff off later. I'm not too worried about it right now. This philodendron actually looks pretty good. It's called McConnelly's Finale, if anybody cares about that. I'm going to go ahead, because I do not see any signs of damage. I'm gonna go ahead, sprinkle a bit of worm poop around the bottom of this and set it aside to go inside. Assessing the situation. This is, I call it a shamrock plant. I don't know the real name of it. I was not very good about keeping my indoor plant tags, which is something that I definitely need to do better at. Early in the day, I did come outside and I watered all of these plants just to make sure that they were hydrated and ready for any of the fussing and moving about that I was going to be doing to them this evening. Next up is this plant, and I do not know the name of this plant. There are a couple of leaves that are a little spent. Nothing too bad. No signs of any distress or any pest pressure. Look at me using fancy words like I know what I'm talking about. Am I gonna run out of worm poop? Probably. Am I gonna worry about it? No. Okay. Now look at this. This is a telltale sign that this plant has to be repotted. Now the good thing is I can actually pull this plant out. Can you see how much this plant has sunk down? It's sunk down about 3 inches. So I can pull this plant out, put potting soil in the bottom, and replant this right back in the same container. But you can see this is a sign. If you see a root coming out of the bottom of your plant containers, they are ready to be transplanted into a larger pot or lifted up to where they need to be. I do have Miracle Grow organic indoor-outdoor potting soil right here. I did open up this bag a couple of days ago, cut it open because it was sitting outside in the rain, so it was really waterlogged. Now it is just nice and slightly damp. You can see that it is a little crumbly, but I can still make a ball with it. So I think this is going to be the perfect consistency to repot some of these plants. And look at how root bound that bad boy is. That's pretty good. When you are repotting your plants, you want to make sure that you are pressing down all around the edge of the root ball to make sure that there's no air pockets. Now that I have this pot replanted, I am going to assess and make sure that we are looking good. Okay, no signs of any issues. And fun fact, this plant right here, this is an arrowhead plant. This was the first indoor plant that I received at the very first plant club that I attended. And this plant looks a little interesting because I thought I was watering the plant correctly, and I was not. I was way under watering the plant. So I have a nickname, Teaspoon Girl, at Plant Club because I used about a teaspoon and thought that would be enough water to make this plant okay, and it definitely was not. So the one who runs the Plant Club, she took it back, she rehabbed it. She told me it was okay to water. Now I'm a little more aggressive with the watering. As you can see, things are fine, but This is my very first plant, and at the last plant club I did show her a picture of this, and she was so proud that we saved this plant and that I have it and it's still thriving. All right, next up, this pothos. Okay, I do have a little root coming out of this pothos. Or maybe we'll transplant it into a little deeper of a container. Hopefully that will make this bad boy happy. I believe this is another pothos. This does get a lot of spots on the leaves even when it's inside. I don't love, oh, here's a weed growing right in the middle of the container. But yeah, this one's okay, but I don't love it. And when I am repotting, I am really pushing the soil in down at the very bottom just to make sure that I don't get sinking. In a situation like this where the container is not that much bigger, which is okay, sometimes if you can't get your fingers down and around the root ball, you could always use like the end of a wooden spoon or something like that to tamp in the soil. And I don't mind if there's dirt and stuff on the containers. I think that just makes it look all the more gardeny. This is a peperonia? I believe this is a peperonia plant. I'm also checking the soil as well, just to make sure if I see any issues, and I'm not. So far, so good. I believe this is a little lemon cypress. Oh my gosh, when I got this was a little twig. Ooh! Oh my goodness. What a lovely smell. Nice. Ooh, that smells so good. Wow. It's putting a little too much. Moving on, I have two of these peperonia plants. This one definitely got some leaf scorch and some damage to some of the leaves. So I'm going to, oh, I hate to lose this leaf, but I'm gonna have to. Let's put this one in this container. Oh, that looks a lot better now that I removed those leaves. Definitely am gonna have to go shopping to get more plant containers. Let me know down below if that's something that you want to see, if you want me to video a little tour of my local garden center where I get most of my indoor and outdoor plants from. So sad that my time in the garden this year is coming to an end. I don't do well in the winter time. I become a super lazy bum, but I'm hoping that having this YouTube channel will help me get through the winter months and will give me something to do and something to focus on. Fingers crossed. Also, let me know if you're interested in me filming one of my plant clubs. When I go to plant club, let me know if you would like to see and be part of that. promise I'll do better with tagging my plants that are inside. Okay. Here's another tip for you. You can tell, especially with this plant, I didn't rotate it, so it got full exposure to all of the sun. I should have, each time I watered, rotated the plant around, so it would be a more globe situation instead of a this way situation. That is something that I will have to work on inside this winter. I will try to rotate the plants that need it around so they don't look lopsided. Okay, looks good. Should we make a tough gardening decision together? I think we are. Okay. I already have one of these plants. So if it continues to root rot, I mean, it's sad, but it is what it is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this one out, transplant it in a smaller pot, leave it outside to dry a little bit more, especially with the terracotta. That should help air out the root ball. Ew. Oh dear. I'm gonna go dump the water. That does not smell good. Let me just pop this out completely. Oh, wow. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to transplant that. I will. Oh, there's a smell. Okay. Pressing pause on this one. I'm gonna sit this and this over here, and I'm gonna deal with this at a later time, maybe even tomorrow, because I want that container to completely air out. I wonder if I can squeeze it. I bet you I can. See that water? Gross. This is a really good lesson for me as a person who is newer to indoor plant gardening. This container does not have a drain hole, and I was not very careful when I was watering this plant to allow it to dry out in between waterings. I definitely way overwatered it. Did I just hurt the plant by squeezing it and ripping the roots? I don't know. We'll see. This one is going to stay outside for another day or two. It'll be fine. It's under protection of this canopy, but wow. I love this plant because it has little heart-shaped leaves. This one looks to be in good shape as well. It doesn't need to be repotted. Okay, we have a duplicate arrowhead plant that does have some dead leaves that need groomed off. Last plant that I have outside, I see a little root coming out, but I do not have any more bigger containers, so this is definitely going to have to wait. I am going to be doing a DIY indoor plant stand for free from a bookshelf that I got for free from a friend that's been down in the basement for years. I'm going to give it a facelift, and I am going to put in some sort of grow lighting system in the bookshelf and put it in my office. If you want to see that, definitely subscribe, because that will be coming up very, very soon. Last plant that desperately needs to be repotted is this. Sorry, I don't know the name of it, but I did use skewers to hold it up, and I'll be replacing that structural system very soon. This is a philodendron. Okay, philodendron split leaf. Ah, yay. I'm glad I opened up this bag and let it air out, because the deeper I'm going in the bag, the more damp the soil is. So I'm going to use my sticks also from the ivy. I want to bring these together. And I'm just using things that I have. These are skewers for grilling. Just want something to rest this on. Last two. I'm inside. I have plants everywhere. Let's go ahead and get the plants where they're gonna live for now until I get that DIY shelving unit done. If you found value in this content, please go ahead and click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Having plants inside is a newer concept for me, but it really has helped my overall mental health in the wintertime. It does give me something to do, something to fiddle around with that is nature oriented, and it really is a true joy to have plants in the house in the middle of the winter. Okay, I got everything situated for now. I'm going to show you quickly where all my plants ended up for now. I moved my snake plant that is not looking awesome over into the coffee nook. Up here on top of the fridge, I packed it full of as many plants as I could. This arrowhead plant I already had and I didn't move it outside, and this is the location that it was before, so this hasn't been moved at all. And then here are my gardening books. Swinging over here, this plant stayed inside. A couple of these plants stayed inside, but for the most part, these plants came from being outside. Over here, we have these three plants. Not balanced. This is not where everything is going to end up. Things are definitely going to be moved around, but for now I just needed to get the plants inside. By the sink, we have a coffee plant that has been here for quite a while. And then over here is the shamrock plant, along with an air plant that I just rehydrated earlier today. That definitely took longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. It was fun to play in the dirt. I still do have the mess outside that I have to clean up, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. See ya, bye.